Okay, time for some questions and answers. So we've already received a few come in by email, so I will start with those. If you do have any questions, please use the questions and answer function of Zoom. There have been a few questions come in already, but I will start with a few that we've already received via email. So Tate Scott asked, would love to hear options to improve Airstream Connect with Peplink modems, with load balancing on the max transit duo, etc., that don't harm Airstream Connect. So Airstream Connect uses, generally they use our transit duo, and with that you can use all of the features of our software without harming anything. You can use load balancing, you could use a SpeedFusion cloud, you can set up however you want. You're not going to necessarily harm anything. If they've set up anything that they said you might not want to change, if they need connection to anything, then yeah, you might want to talk to them about that. But generally, you can load balance and send your internet however you want to. Okay, George Keller asked about the status of Verizon product certifications. So I'll skip to the next slide here. So this slide shows all of our products that are currently certified to be used on the Verizon network. This is as of today. We updated this recently. So the Br1 Classic, the Br1 Mini Core, the HT2 IP67, the Transit Category 18, Transit Mini, our Flex modules, the Mini Flex modules, and the Flex module Category 12 and Category 18, as well as all of the MBX models. So all of those models on screen are certified for Verizon. Okay, I am going to switch to some of the questions and answers. I'm just going to go through the chat first because there were a few questions that came in there as well. Okay, so Daryl Wood has asked, can one expect superior signal quality using a boosted cellular Puma versus a boosted Yagi directional? Okay, so when you say boosted, I'm assuming you mean like a cellular booster. If you use a proper antenna, you shouldn't need a booster. If you install the antenna on the roof and that kind of stuff, get it all installed properly, you shouldn't need a booster. But however, using a Puma versus a Yagi, that really depends on your location. So if you are in a built up area close to networks and things like that, then the Pumas will be good. If you're in a very remote location where signal is very hard to get, then yes, a Yagi might be what you need to get a directional antenna pointed at the tower. So obviously the Pumas, you don't need to point them at the tower, you just have them set up and they just work. Whereas the Yagis, you'll need to point them at the antenna, at the cell tower each time you set up. Okay, Joel Bean is asking, when will you release a Category 18 Jilsum modem? We've got the HD4 MBX has got a Category 18 version of it. The Transit Duo won't have a Category 18 version. There's two kind of reasons for that. One is the throughput of the router. So the Category 12 modems in the HD and the Transit Duo are capable of 600 megabytes download. That's their rated throughput per modem. But the router itself is only rated at 400 megabits throughput. So already with two modems in there like that, the modems are already well over spec than the router's throughput. Also, we don't have the second reason is the space for the antenna connectors, because the Category 12 modems have two antenna connectors, and the category 18s have 4. So there's just not quite the space on the Transit Duo to fit that. So if you need dual category 18, you'll want to go with the HD2 or HD4 MBX. It gives you much higher throughputs, and you'll see the best you can get out of those modems there as well. You won't be limited by the router throughput. Okay, the cost of SpeedFusion Cloud. If you go to Peplink, you will be able to find all the details about that. I'm going to bring it up now so you can see it. Okay, so we have, well, first of all, I'll just show you the locations of the SpeedFusion Cloud. So this is our current list of locations. About 2 weeks ago, we did add a whole lot of these in. So there are a lot more than you might have realized since you last checked. So these are the data plans that we have available for the SpeedFusion Cloud. So obviously we start here with the free plan, so you can trial it out and see how it works. So that starts at, you get 100 gigabytes free, and the throughput's limited at 50 megabytes per second, and it is valid for 1 month. And then you have the pricing for the additional usage here. So as you can see, the pricing is very, very attractive, and it is, you can give it a go, no risk. So that question was from Mark. What is the cost of SpeedFusion Cloud? Okay, Scott Roberts asks, are there any recommendations for ruggedized hardware versus conventional duty hardware for more off-road orientated vehicles? So you had a VAR saying something to this effect when you priced your last install. So with the routers that we're covered are the kind of ruggedized ones. They're designed to be installed in vehicles. They're designed to be to withstand vibration. So the Transit Duos, the MBXs, the HD4s, they've all been built to be in vehicles, and they can take that vibration, that kind of stuff. I think what you're saying about they recommended not using some other ones, maybe that was maybe when they were talking about maybe the Balance 30 LTE, those kind of ones. Those ones are designed more to be installed in an office and use the cellular as a failover. But yeah, all the products we've been talking about today are designed to be on the road. James asked about the Verizon certification there. So we're showing the Br1 Classic working with Verizon. Does the same apply to the Br1 Mark II? Travis, could you please check on that? I'm not exactly sure on that. From Will Richards, we use a Puma and it's been awesome. It was a big boost to the signal. Will, that is great news. Good to hear it. Which modem are you using? Which model router are you using with that? Okay, I'm just looking through some more of the questions in the chat here, and then I'm going to switch over to the questions and answers. Rob Taylor asked, said, can't find the UBR Go LTE data sheet on your site. We can share a link with you for that. The specifications of the UBR Go are very similar to the Transit Duo, same throughput, Wi-Fi, things like that. There's two main differences, well, three main differences with it. One, it has 3 WAN ports, whereas sorry, 3 LAN ports, not WAN ports, 3 LAN ports and 1 WAN port. So you can connect more devices to it. One of those LAN ports is also PoE. Another difference is the power. It's powered by a USB-C power input, And then the third major difference is it supports our remote SIM technology. So you can use a SIM injector or remote SIMs with it. We've covered that in some other webinars there, and there's lots of info about it on our forum as well. By the way, guys, if there's any features of the configurations that you want me to cover a bit more, I can actually go back and go through the configurations live with you. If there's any kind of settings that you want to see changed and things like that. So yeah, put those in the questions and answers as well. Okay, so I'm just looking through a few more questions here. Joey Jansen asks, will there be any eSIM ready Peplink devices coming soon? We have got one eSIM product that will be coming out very soon. It's called the Max Adapter. There will be more information about that coming out soon. But that is it's more of a hotspot device that you plug into your computer. So it'll be single cellular. I'm not exactly sure what the hardware team is planning with any other eSIM products and that, but it could be something that might be coming. I'm not exactly sure on that though. Okay, so the Br1 Mark II and Transit Duo are both certified for Verizon. I've just had confirmation of that. Marty Weston asked, will the Transit Mini be upgradable for 5G or will a new router be required? So the only routers that we've got that are upgradable are the MBX and some of the other X series ones like the EPX and the Balance 30X and that with the Flex modules. So routers like the Br1 and the Transits, they don't have upgradable modems, so it won't be possible. You'll have to get a new router. There will be new platforms out to support the much higher throughputs of 5G as well, because the Br1 throughputs, the Br1's limited 100 megabits throughput, and if you put a 5G modem in that, it's not going to perform as 5G as you kind of expect it to. Chris Summers asked the difference between the Br1 Mark II and the Transit Duo. So the Br1 is maximum throughput of 100 megabits per second, and it is a single cellular router. So it only has one cellular modem in it. The Transit Duo has a router throughput of 400 megabits per second, and it's dual cellular throughput. It supports higher SpeedFusion bonding throughputs, and all round it's got better Wi-Fi. It's a much better device for throughputs and usage on the road. It allows you to connect to multiple cellular networks at the same time. And with the Prime Care model, it works out to not be much more expensive than the Br1, and you get a lot more for it. So definitely have a look at it. It's definitely worth the extra money. Scott's asking, is there a recording of the webinar? Yes, we will be putting a recording of this up on, it'll be posted on the forum, and it'll also be sent out in an email. So to everyone that signed up for it. Yeah, so that'll be posted on YouTube. Probably on Friday, it'll be available. Okay, so now to some more questions and answers that have come in now. Okay, so how to connect to those Wi-Fi servers that need our input via a browser. These pages require a name, phone number, etc. in order to give us access. So with the portals and that kind of stuff, generally what you'll do is connect to the portal, and then you need to be able to access the splash page as such. And once you log in, you're authorizing the PepWave as a device to access that internet, not your end device. And that should be good for however long until the portal kind of signs you out and you need to re-sign in again. Ultimately, it's better if there is no portal on the Wi-Fi, but that's not always possible, is it? So Chris Sims asks, when all three options are priority 1, which is the preferred outbound path? Okay, so let me bring up the one. So are you meaning on, you've got the 3 in priority 1 here. So if you've got 3 in priority 1 here, it'll be depending on how you have your outbound policies set up. So if you have your outbound policies set up to priority or weighted balance and things like that, so if it doesn't match a rule, it'll go to the default, and the default is auto. Just in the GUI here, these little question marks here, they've got a lot of information behind them. So click on them, they'll open up little windows like that and actually explain what things are. So yeah, here you can create a rule to create different outbound rules to go to different WANs. Jan asks, can I use other VPN providers like Nordvpn? So you can't connect the PepWave to the Nordvpn, but you can use Nordvpn on your laptop behind the PepWave. So I think what you're asking is by can you use other VPN providers, can you connect the PepWave to them? The answer is no, you can't. It's not possible to do that. Joe asks, how does SpeedFusion Cloud benefit RV users? So SpeedFusion Cloud benefits RV users by allowing them to easily utilize the benefits of SpeedFusion of the multi-WAN bonding and hot failover and things like that without having to set up your own SpeedFusion tunnel endpoints. So it means you can simply utilize SpeedFusion to bond your connections together and keep your connection always on. Another question from Joe, would you please discuss how Peplink manages multiple WAN connections, round robin, is the algorithm tunable? Yes, completely. That's here in the outbound policies that we were just having a look at. So in the outbound policies, if we click on add rule, we've got the algorithms here. So again, click on the question mark there. It'll bring up all this information and explain each one there. So you can select the different ones depending on how you want the traffic to go. So that can be for all the traffic on the network, or it can just be for one individual device. So you can set up very specific rules for specific devices. And so you could have lots of rules, or you could just have simple rules so that all the traffic behaves the same way. Okay, there are a few more questions here. So Will Richards, when will the Max Br1 5G model be coming out, and can you explain exactly what SpeedFusion is and does? To me, it just sounds like a VPN tunnel, pretty simple, but there may be more to it that I'm missing. Okay, so there isn't a Br1 5G model as such that has been announced or anything yet. So that will be coming in the future. There will be something coming in the future that fills that area of the market, but we don't have any details of it just yet. So the second part, so SpeedFusion. So SpeedFusion is a VPN, but it's a Peplink proprietary VPN. It uses multiple WANs to keep your internet connected at all times. So I will show you the SpeedFusion Cloud that I've set up here. I'll show you exactly what's happening on it, and you'll understand it a bit better on the multiple WANs, what's happening on it. So if we go to SpeedFusion, and we can see that the one connection here to London has got, it's using 3 connections. So this WAN is an Ethernet WAN into my home internet, and the Wi-Fi WAN is also into my home internet, but they could be into different internet connections. So just for the sake of the demo, let's pretend that they're all different internet sources as such. And then what I can do here now is I can do an internet, I can do a speed test. So I'm going to switch that to download. Just remember that this is a free trial that I'm using here as well. So it's going to be limited to 50 megabytes per second. So I'm going to hit download here. And as you can see, the download, that data is coming across 3 different WANs there. And it's aggregating it to be up just below 50 megabytes per second. At the same time, what we can also do here is simulate a WAN failing. So I'm going to change this to 200 seconds just so that this test keeps on going while I'm changing them. So if we were on a Skype call or something like that now, that traffic is going to be split, and you can see it's split over the 3 different connections. And let's say, for example, the Wi-Fi WAN fails and we turn that off. So that could be because someone's unplugged the router or something, that kind of stuff. And now you can see that all the traffic is now switched and all going through the WAN. When the Wi-Fi WAN comes back, it's going to start routing traffic over it. So you can see it's back now, and boom, now it's routing traffic as well. And then someone unplugs that cable and that WAN has gone down now, and all the traffic is going over the Wi-Fi WAN there. And we can turn on the other Wi-Fi WAN and it's going to load balance it across that one as well. So if you were on a Skype call or something like that, the whole time that those WANs were going up and down, as long as you had one WAN available, that Skype call would have just kept on going. You would have not even noticed that the WANs went up or down. So that's what SpeedFusion is. It keeps you connected all the time as long as you've got one connection available and you don't even notice it. I hope that answered that question, Will. Okay, John is asking, would I still need a cell phone booster like a Wilson WeBoost? If you have proper antennas, properly installed up as high as you can get them and that, you shouldn't need a repeater like that. It really depends on your location. You might find you end up in a very rural location and a booster does work for you. But generally a booster would not be required. What I'd recommend you focus on rather than a booster is going for nice short antenna cable runs. So if you can install the router up high up, very close to the antenna, that's the best kind of way to go. Focus on the antennas and short antenna runs.